Hello, TA Jessica Dahl. This is Mark Bittner. I'm part of the U.S. politics class, obviously, because that's how I know you. And I asked you a couple times so I could just put myself on YouTube instead of doing an actual written journal entry, and you said sure, that's okay. So I'm going to give this a shot. So here we go. So basically, today we went to the National Archives, and you told us to examine the Constitution and 3 other documents that they have up there, so we did. And I did personally, obviously. So I guess I'll hit right off the bat with the Constitution. So the Constitution, it was in the Rotunda, the Grand Gallery Place in the National Archives. Not that well lighted, probably to protect the document, which is just in it for guests. But it was an interesting thing to see. It's hard to fathom that this one little piece of paper holds every law that ever existed and ever will exist in the United States. Like, it is the basis of everything we do, and it's pretty much hard to put in words because for over 220 some odd years, 232 years, excuse me, that this has been our document. This is what we've used to govern our society for that long, and it's just really hard to realize that it all happened from this one piece of paper. This also includes the Bill of Rights, which I'm not counting as another document because the Bill of Rights in itself is part of the Constitution, and that also just exemplifies everything that I just said. That, I don't know, it's just insane to just think about because that's what governs all of our laws, our freedoms, our civil liberties, our civil rights, everything. So, definitely something that was good to see in real life, something good to realize. And then there are other documents. What preceded the Constitution? Some 500 years ago, some 550, 60, 70 years ago, there was the Magna Carta, which they had one of the very first copies of at the National Archives. And the Magna Carta was signed in 1215, years and years before anything has ever happened. The Magna Carta was the first thing in our modern day history to uphold just law and say that nobody's immune from laws and nobody's immune from protection. Nobody's immune from facing justice, and that everybody can get equal punishment, equal trial, equal everything. And I don't know, the Magna Carta is what preceded the Constitution and everything that exemplifies and shows what democracy is today. And so that's also really intense, I'm not going to lie. So 2 down, 2 to go. You also have, let me just get out my notes. Wrong binder. Sorry, Jessica, or Ms. Dahl, whatever you like to be called. There's also a copy of the 13th Amendment, which is really intense. Throughout all of our history, the biggest debates in our early history has been over slavery and North and South, whatever. 13th Amendment shows us rising from the ashes of our greatest despair our nation has ever faced when we fought amongst each other for a series of 4 years. The tension finally mounted, and then we got into a war for a few years with it, against each other, killing quite a lot of people. And just seeing that document, the 13th Amendment, which states the end of the tension between the North and South on the slavery issue, just seems to show that that the nation could come together finally. So, that's also really intense. Good to see. I don't know, just seeing that as an actual copy really makes you think, like, this is what ended slavery. This is what ended an injustice that we've allowed our nation to face for years. This one little document on this little piece of paper is what ended everything. So I guess that's the 13th Amendment. So 3 down, 1 to go. Sorry, this webcam is kind of weird. So anyway, the last thing I saw was the Treaty of Paris, which was, well, now that it's 1:40 in the morning, Thursday, it's no longer September 3rd, but the day we saw it, September 3rd, that was the day the Treaty of Paris was signed. So, looking at that on the anniversary of when it was signed, granted it's an arbitrary, actually no, it's been its 225th year since it's signed, so that's actually a pretty flat, straight out year, not very arbitrary. But I don't know, Treaty of Paris enabled us to be in the United States, and I feel very lucky that we got to see it on its last day. So I feel honored that I actually got to go there and see it at its at the National Archives on its final day. So it was really good to see. It was finally good to see what actually created us as a nation, what got us recognized by the entire world as a nation. I mean, it's very important within history, and it's jump-started everything political that we've ever had. So very interesting. I mean, I enjoyed the trip to the National Archives, and I'm looking forward to our future trips every Wednesday. So thank you, Jessica or Miss Doll or whatever. This is Mark Bittner, and this is my journal.